You're looking at Pete Maravich. At 22 years of age, it's reported he signed a $2 million basketball contract. He's at the far end, or should we say behind the four players, next to the crowd. While at LSU, he established a record as the greatest scorer in college history. Upcoming on ABC's Wide World of Sports, Pete Maravich and his first professional basketball game. From the Alexander Memorial Coliseum in Atlanta, Georgia, ABC's Wide World of Sports brings you live and in color NBA basketball. Today, the Milwaukee Bucks with Lou Alcindor and Oscar Robertson meet the Atlanta Hawks with all-time NCAA major college scoring champion Pete Maravich in his professional debut. ABC's Wide World of Sports is being brought to you by Brill Cream. That little dab of Brill Cream leaves your hair looking natural. The one that more and more men are coming back to for natural-looking grooming. By Schlitz, grab for all the gusto you can. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. And by Mercury, where better ideas make better cars. It's as simple as that. Mercury makes better cars at the sign of the cap. And continuing this exciting day of sports here on ABC, it's NCAA football, Notre Dame versus Missouri, immediately following today's basketball game, except for the West Coast. Hello again, everyone. I'm Jerry Gross, along with Jack Twyman. You're looking at Lou Alcindor. The score here in Atlanta is 5-2 in favor right now of the team in green with the ball. That's the Milwaukee Bucks. And bringing the ball up, it is Lucius Allen, guarded right now by Walt Hazzard in a 5-2 ball game. 10 minutes to go in the first period, and Dangerous with a shot that's missed. That's Bob Boozer, recently acquired in a trade. Phil Bridges fighting for the rebound, but it's picked up by Walt Hazzard. 2-on-1. That's Lou Hudson. Jimmy Davis. Walt Hazzard had his hands on it for Atlanta. Back it goes toward midcourt, and Walt Bellamy, by touching the ball in backcourt, they say it's a backcourt violation. Jack Twyman, we've had quite a ball game.
Quite a ball game, Jerry. The matchups are Bellamy, of course, against Alcindor. Oscar Robertson guarding the high-scoring Lou Hudson in the backcourt, while Lucius Allen is taking Walt Hazzard. Phil Bridges, as you see, against Bob Dandridge, and Bob Boozer going against Jimmy Davis.
Alcindor has 4 points. Dandridge has 1 for the 5 for Milwaukee. 2 points for Walt Hazzard. He has the only 2 points. And Pete Maravich, right there, is yet to make his first move on a professional basketball court. He'll be in later on. He has not been starting. Richie Guerin wants to work him in slowly. That's Walt Hazzard with the ball against Lucius Allen. Jimmy Davis has it blocked cleanly by Alcindor. Lou has the ball. That's Bob Boozer. He has a good right-handed jumper. And Oscar Robertson, Mr. Everything. Lucius Allen missing with the jump, and Oscar follows. No good. A 3-point lead for Milwaukee. They've had a 10-0 record in exhibition. That's Walt Hazzard.
There's Richie Guerin's strategy. He wants to get the ball down the floor before Milwaukee can set up.
Oscar double teamed, gets it away to Allen.
Go get him, David.
Lou Hudson on a switch, now goes back to Oscar. Tough matchup there for Lou. Allen again. Davis battling for the rebound. Hudson's all alone. He'll get 2. He's got a 1-on-3 situation. Now 3-on-3. 8-5. Atlanta has bounced back. They were down by 4 at the onset of the ball game, as a turnaround jumper by Alcindor and then a layup by Lou after he sparked a fast break. Bob Boozer, that's his shot. Short jump shot. Bob Boozer came to this ball club on a trade from Seattle, along with Lucius Allen. And Don Smith going over to Seattle. Here's Hudson. Davis really barreled his way inside. He used his weight against Dandridge on that one.
Jimmy Davis, normally a center. Richie Guerin needing the rebounding in there, starting Davis at the other forward.
A 3-point lead for Atlanta. We have 7:16 to go. We're only in the first period.
I think for the first time in the career of Oscar Robertson, we're seeing Larry Costello put Oscar on the tough offensive guard. Oscar Robertson guarding Lou Hudson. Normally in his career with the Royals, Oscar would take the weaker guard to try and conserve him for offense. But here we see Larry Costello putting him on Hudson.
Bob's playing with a bad thumb. Talked to him last night at the booster dinner, and he is in a great deal of pain. He has that right thumb and right hand badly swollen, but he has it taped. Boozer was drafted originally as he makes the shot. Bob was drafted #1 by your old ball club, Jack, in Cincinnati. Now it is a 10-8 ball game in favor of the home team in white. Dazzling uniforms for Atlanta. Bridges misses with a jumper. They normally give him that shot. The book on Bill is he's tough inside. That's Dandridge.
And that's an awful tough matchup for Bill Bridges. Dandridge, very quick, much quicker than Bridges. Bridges forced to guard Dandridge.
And we're locked up in a 10-10 tie. Here's an offensive foul called by the experienced veteran, Richie Powers. Rich now will go to the ball. He is a veteran of the NBA, starting his 14th year. And he hails out of Englewood, New Jersey. Working along with John Parker. We'll show you John shortly. That's Lucius Allen against Hazard. Hazard swipes it. Tight ropes the sideline. Bellamy bringing it up 2-on-2. Hazard with an 8-footer. Allen gets it again. Allen's very quick. So is Hazard. That's Oscar. Bob Boozer up against Jim Davis. That's Lou underneath. Al Cindar, the top draft choice in '69, the all-rookie team, and the Rookie of the Year, number 33. And it's a 12-10 ball game. You see it, the Bucks in the lead. Many folks think they're going to upset New York this year. Irving Felt, Red Holzman, and Willis Reed have other thoughts. Lou Hudson in the corner. Got a pick from Davis.
In spite of the fact this is Maravich's first game as a pro, this is also Oscar Robertson's first game as a Milwaukee Buck, and it's interesting to watch him take over. In his first game, he is the captain out there. He's the captain of the Bucks with Lou Alcindor, and he's running the show. He's slowing up the offense. He's clearing the side for Alcindor, and he is definitely running this Milwaukee Buck offense.
5:59 to go. That is the first team foul called against the Bucks. A 12-11 ball game in favor of the men in green. And that's Boozer in tight. You won't miss too many of those. Bellamy with the rebound. Number 8 gives to Hazard, who originally was with the Lakers, formerly of UCLA. Bellamy staying outside, trying to draw Lou out. But Alcindor picking up Bridges underneath. He's got the rebound. Billy steals it, and there's a reverse layup, and he's fouled.
There we saw Walter Bellamy go high. Richie wants to try and bring Lou Alcindor out from underneath to open up the inside for Bill Bridges and Jim Davis to slip inside. But perhaps we saw a little strategy on the part of Larry Costello, switching Bob Boozer off on Bellamy when he goes outside and allowing Lou Alcindor to stay inside.
Bill Bridges is the best rebounding forward in the National Basketball Association. And the amazing part of it is, well, we'll tell you more about it later. There's a timeout here at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum in Atlanta. And the score, Milwaukee 12, Atlanta 11. Jack Twyman, you played for 6 years with Oscar Robertson, and I know there were many an occasion when you had Oscar set you up for the good shot. Should be an interesting battle watching the Hawks against two great stars now.
Well, if you get open, Oscar is going to get the ball to you, and I think that's his importance to the Milwaukee Bucks. With 10 years in the league, Oscar brings, there's Pete Maravich on the bench over there, but with 10 years in the league, Oscar brings an awful lot of experience to this Buck ball club, and he's positioning his players and using Alcindor and Dandridge and Allen, the youngsters, to perfection.
Neither ball club in foul trouble here. That's Bill Bridges. We were talking about how a great rebounder he is. He ties the ball game. Bill is not only great as a forward, but it is amazing because he's only 6'6", and he was born with one leg shorter than the other. But he has overcome adversity and become one of the tough players in the NBA. 5:22 to go, 12-12 tie, and Oscar will inbound it. The men in green, the Milwaukee Bucks, that's Alcindor against Bellamy. No basket, says Richie Powers. It's an offensive foul. He moved into it. Bellamy really held his ground. And they said jumping into the lap of Walt Bellamy was the big guy. He's listed Alcindor at 7'2", but everybody in the league feels he's 7'4". Hazard brings it up. Tie ball game. Knocked out of bounds, almost in front of our microphone. John Parker with the ball now, the other official. He's from Upper Dublin, Pennsylvania. That's near Philadelphia. His second year in the league as an official. Bellamy. Hudson trying to use a pick and roll. Cut the screen, moved inside, and Bellamy got it back. For Big Bell, his first 2 points, and it's now 14-12 in favor of underdog Atlanta. Big Lou underneath. Bang.
The only chance Bellamy has is his weight. Bellamy outweighs Alcindor by 15 pounds, and you see him trying to use that weight and force Alcindor outside.
That's 8 points for Alcindor. Tie ball game, 14-all. Lou Hudson misses, and the big guy grabs it. Now to Lucius Allen. It's 3-on-2, and he throws it out of bounds. The intended receiver was Bob Dandridge. Boy, what a year he had last year. He really came into his own. They've got a guy on the bench named Greg Smith who sparks him also. A left-handed jumping jack. Double pick to the left. Bridges goes behind it. They break the screen off, and Hudson almost moves one-on-one on Oscar. Now Hazard looking for the screen. Misses everything, an air ball, and it was blocked on the play, so it'll be Atlanta ball. 4:11 to go. I'm Jerry Gross, along with Jack Twyman. We speak to you on ABC's Wide World of Sports from Atlanta, Georgia. Bellamy trying to drive, and he does by the big guy. Davis, Hazard. That's a legal block by Alcindor. He did not hit it on the way down. Look at Davis fight. Lou Hudson, what about? It's pinned off the backboard, and that's illegal. You can't touch it or pin it off the backboard.
Alcindor got 4 of those shots, and he's staying inside and not allowing the Hawks to get through. Atlanta is going to have to get Alcindor outside.
And it is 16-14, and the fired-up Hawks playing without the services of their great forward, swingman guard, defensive player Joe Caldwell leading. Allen misses the inside shot. Bridges with the rebound. The quick pass has a 3-on-1 break. Oh, Oscar breaks it up. Oscar Robertson. Now it's 3-on-2, 4-on-2 the other way. Boozer missed it, and the rebound out of bounds off the man in green.
Now you're seeing the big change in Milwaukee from last year to this year. They're running much more than they did last year, perhaps because they have a lot of confidence in Robertson and Allen as ball handlers.
All alone, Bellamy. Great pass by Hudson. Bellamy, 4 points. What a controversial career he has had. Look at the crowd. With a timeout here at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum. Atlanta leads by 4. The score, 8. Milwaukee with an unblemished record in exhibition activity, and you see Atlanta's record, and Jack Twyman. Certainly these two ball clubs have seen each other on 2 occasions previous.
Well, the last time these two teams met, Milwaukee won by 45, but with regard to the preseason record, Milwaukee averaged 114 points offensively while holding their opposition to 96. Only 4 times did any team score over 100 points, so that's very interesting. While Atlanta averaged 108 points a game, there's Maravich still on the bench, has not gotten into the ball game as yet, while defensively Atlanta held their opposition to 122 points a game.
John McLaughlin, number 14, comes into the ball game for Lucius Allen. He's on the back line now with Oscar Robertson. They were teammates together at Cincinnati. He's a good shooter, number 14. But he misses his first one and rebounded up and in, and that's Dandridge scoring. McLaughlin, one of the better shooters in the NBA last year. Lifetime, 46.5%. And he was 4th in the league in shooting, over 50% last year. That's Davis against Dandridge. A switch. The big guy underneath against Oscar now. A mismatch. Let's see if Hudson hits him. He doesn't, but he eludes the bigger man. And 2:35 to go. Neither ball club in foul territory. And it is 20-16 Atlanta. McLaughlin missing his second and a foul.
And there is what you saw Atlanta do all day yesterday in practice. Richie Guerin is bringing Walter Bellamy out. He's taking the shot from outside or setting picks from outside because Alcindor is having a difficult time switching and is not switching as you saw with Lou Hudson there.
It's a foul against Dandridge, I believe, his second. Out of bounds. Atlanta throws it away. It is a 20-16 lead right now for Atlanta. They were behind by 4. Dandridge against Bridges. That's in the hole. Alcindor against Bellamy. Dandridge skipping, but not losing the ball. Loose on the right. They're really dropping off McLaughlin. They're collapsing their defense on the left side. He's all alone. Oh, and he missed it. He won't miss Edmund. It's 3 in a row. Rebounded by Bellamy. Bellamy to Hudson. Hudson. One of the great shooters of all time in basketball. What a great career he had at Minnesota. Lou Hudson. That is an offensive foul, a block called by Richie Powers. 1:50 to go, 22-16. Hudson playing as a guard, guarded by Robertson. McLaughlin now on Hazard. Hazard has better mobility than John. John is a little stronger. Alcindor trying to work against Bellamy has come out now. That's Hudson. Boy, he's tough. Lou Hudson. 25.5 points per ball game last year, and Hudson has rammed in 10 points. 24-16, an 8-point lead for Atlanta, their biggest. Oscar Robertson. He has one of the better dribbles in the NBA. That's Boozer. 6-point lead now for Milwaukee, and Bob Boozer has scored a total of 5, as has Dandridge, and 8 points for Alcindor. They're the only 3-member scorer for Milwaukee.
There you saw the Hawks double-teaming Oscar Robertson. They had done this when they came down the floor. That's why Larry Costello came in with John McLaughlin, a good outside shooter, to tie and not allow Atlanta to double-team Oscar Robertson.
Lou Alcindor has come out, and you're looking now at Dick Cunningham, who was the backup center last year. He is a 6'10", 252-pounder, and he did not want to play football. He was given a couple of offers to play professional football. Bellamy, who's not a good foul shooter, misses. Bellamy, over the years, has shot 64% at the line. And here's Cunningham trying to get a spark going now. They're going to rest Alcindor a little more this year. But in this particular case, Alcindor, with the 3 fouls, he has to come out of there. There's a foul call. Hacking foul. Phil Bridges gets his first foul, and with exactly 4 seconds to go, that'll be the 4th foul of the period. One thing about a backup center, Jack, you have to be ready. You never know when an injury might come along. This fella has stayed ready out of Murray State. This will be his 3rd year. He's from Canton, Ohio. A 25-18 ball game on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Pete Maravich has not made his debut yet. 25-19, 1 second to go. And there goes the horn, ending the first period. So at the end of the first quarter, we'll return for the second quarter tip-off in just one moment. The score, Atlanta 25, Milwaukee 19. At the end of one quarter here in Atlanta, Georgia, it's 25-19, and the big news here, number 44, Pete Maravich, makes his first appearance on the court in a regular NBA ball game. So Maravich, we've heard so much about. I know you all joined Jack and I in anxiously waiting to see what he can do in pro basketball.
I would say, Jerry, I talked to Pete before the game, and he's very nervous. He's thinking about this game. He wants to do well, and it's going to take him a minute or two up and down the floor to get the butterflies out of his stomach. But I think he'll be perfect for this ball club because he's a great ball handler. He moves very well, and he's a good offensive player, and he fits perfectly into the offensive patterns of the Atlanta Hawks.
Maravich is 6'5" and weighs 200. The jump between Cunningham and Bellamy. Maravich with it to Hudson. Bridges will be in tight with it against Cunningham. Well, Bill Bridges has 3 points. And it is now 27-19. This again the largest lead for Atlanta. That's Cunningham. He corks one from inside the foul line. 27-21. Greg Smith is number 4 in the game, playing up front against Bridges. Cunningham in the hole against Bellamy. That's Hudson with the ball against Oscar. Dandridge paired against Jerry Chambers. Dandridge with the ball. A 6-point lead for the home team. That's Atlanta on defense. Dandridge has it. Maravich is guarding McLaughlin. Greg Smith outside. That is not normally his great shot. They used to give him that shot, but he's come along real well, Jeff.
And McLaughlin guarding Maravich. You see him playing in very tightly. Milwaukee has had a great deal of success playing Maravich very tightly, playing him without the ball, and giving him a lot of pressure.
Bellamy. 27-23. That's Hudson with a soft right-hander. And it is 30-23, a 7-point lead for the men in green. That's Greg Smith. It's a very complex offensive machine of the men in green, Oscar Robertson, and I guess there's no one any better qualified to run that machine. We are experiencing some technical difficulties. We certainly hope that you will bear with us. Wide World of Sports in Atlanta, Lou Hudson. Jerry Chambers. That's Bridges. Bellamy. Bellamy scores, and without Alcindor, they're dominating the board.
And there you see the value of Lou Alcindor. They need help on that boards, and as a result, Bob Boozer coming back in for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Maravich against Robertson. McLaughlin in heavy traffic. That's as close as they've guarded him, and he makes his first field goal. John's a good shooter. He'll snap out of it, and he could become a factor in bringing this ball club right back into it. That's Hudson. Somebody got to stop him. Lou Hudson has rammed in 14. 34-25. This is the biggest lead. Moments ago, the lead was 11. Now it is 9.
I might add that was Lou Hudson's 14th point, so Oscar Robertson having a little difficulty guarding Lou Hudson one-on-one. Bob Boozer coming into the game for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Boozer will go in the corner, and he'll try and contain Bridges. He is a better matchup than earlier. Hudson now against McLaughlin. He's free. Greg Smith with a rebound. Here's Oscar feeding McLaughlin. Maravich intercepted. They had a 2-on-1 break. Maravich, let's see what he'll do. Maravich is hitting 1,000. 1 for 1. That's the guy they came to see. Pete Maravich. Lucius Allen now comes in against Hudson. That's Boozer paired against Bridges. Double screen to the left. Inside, getting the double pick low.
You notice who scored. It was John McLaughlin. They lost Pete Maravich in the double screen, and they're trying to work McLaughlin, who's being guarded by Pete Maravich.
One reminder, Lou Alcindor with 3 fouls on the bench, and it is now 36-27. It's a 9-point lead for Atlanta. McLaughlin blocks it, and it's picked up by Greg Smith, 2-on-1. Maravich in the middle. A traveling violation against Lucius Allen. Congratulations to the cities of Buffalo, Cleveland, and Portland. 17 teams now in the NBA. Maravich brings it up to Hudson. Maravich outside. No good. Bridges fighting for the rebound. Back to Maravich. Hudson, they're going to fight the clock. Foul. 7.5 minutes to go. 36-27. We're in the second quarter. That is the second team foul called against Milwaukee. The third on Bob Boozer.
As we look at Lou Hudson on the line, there's an awful lot of pressure on Hudson. With a 23-point average, his next closest Hawk is averaging about 12 points a game. So with the absence of Joe Caldwell, who has not signed yet, it puts an additional burden on Hudson to get out there and get points for the Hawks.
Now 16 points for Hudson out of the 38 that his club has. McLaughlin misses the running right-hander. Bridges with a rebound. Maravich 3-on-2. Chambers. And a foul call. Jerry Chambers. Chambers is from Utah, and he was the top draft choice of L.A. Went in the military in 1967. Then for a cup of coffee is with Philadelphia, Phoenix, and Portland in that order. This will be his third year only that he's been with all those ball clubs. Foul shot gives him his first point. Lou Alcindor back in the ball game. You see the score, the biggest lead so far of the afternoon, a 12-point advantage for the Atlanta Hawks, and they are opening their season here at home before a good crowd. Bellamy now against Alcindor. Allen against Maravich. That's Greg Smith, the left-hander. Bridges with a rebound. Maravich 1-on-2. He's going to shoot. Gets his own rebound off his knee and out of bounds.
I think it shows you the importance of once the bell rings and the regular season starts, Jerry. There you see Walt Hazard coming in. The last time in exhibition series that these two teams met, once again Milwaukee beat Atlanta by 45 points, and now Atlanta ahead by 12.
Maravich against Allen. Hazard back in the ball game against McLaughlin. He eludes him. Misses. Milwaukee off in their shooting. Behind the back. How do you do? Back to Maravich. He missed the layup. Bridges. Bill Bridges has now banged in 6 points, and it's 31-27. Alcindor trying to get him back. Misses an air ball. Bridges again the rebound. Hazard brings it up. Maravich.
During that second quarter, we saw the value of Lou Alcindor. With him not in the lineup, Atlanta jumped to a 16-point lead. Now Robertson and Alcindor back in the Milwaukee lineup. Let's see if they can bring the Bucks back.
Oscar Robertson back in the Milwaukee lineup.
Hazard picking it off. Maravich bothering Robertson, and they say Pete made quite a play and knocked it off the leg of Oscar Robertson. So Pete Maravich, with two fine defensive plays, comes up with quite a move there, and he'll now inbound it. The former LSU great. He holds all kinds of records. He broke Oscar's record for most points scored in a college career, and now they're playing head-on-head. Alcindor blocks Bridges' shot. So that's quite a battle now. Oscar Robertson, who held it from 1960 to 1970, now guarding Maravich, who broke his record. Boozer brings it out. Lucius Allen with a fine play. Pete Maravich in the game in the event you've just joined us has 4 points. Maravich with a rebound. Let's see what he'll do here. How do you do? Over the head. Another back pass behind the back. Blocked beautifully. Fine defensive effort by Milwaukee. Lou Alcindor. We have a 43-31 ball game. Alcindor at the foul line. Now trying to bring his ball club back with 4 minutes to go. He's down by 11. Maravich in the game, guarded by Robertson. You see closest to the camera. Number 1, Oscar. Number 44, Maravich. Bellamy beats Alcindor. Chambers scores. 45-32. Oscar Robertson bringing it up. Pete said before the game that one of his idols was Oscar Robertson while he was growing up, and here he is against the veteran head-on-head. Alcindor underneath. 3.5 to go. It is now 45-34. The lead going to Atlanta. Bill Zopp guarding Walt Hazard. That's Bridges inside. He likes to go toward the foul line with a right-handed hook. Maravich has it knocked away by Robertson. Again, we apologize for some of our technical difficulties. Maravich misses. Alcindor goes to Dandridge. Dandridge down the right side, 1-on-3. Zopp has it knocked out of bounds. Maravich might have had a hand in there. 2:58 to go. To inbound it, the left-hander out of Duquesne. Zopp goes outside to Oscar. He's at the foul line, backing in. Backing in. Great control on his dribble. There's the right-hander. Robertson has 6 points. You see the score. Atlanta leading. A whistle.
Now let us go. It means over right there. It means nothing until we hear.
This is the professional debut of the greatest scorer in the history of college basketball, Pete Maravich. We hope you're enjoying it, and so far at the onset, Jack, having been a veteran of many NBA wars, we wonder what your impression is of Pete Maravich.
Well, as I said, Jerry, Pete Maravich is perfect for this Atlanta ball club. They have an awful lot of mobility. People are going to be a little disappointed that Maravich is not going to be scoring 35 or 40 points a game. But with a ball club like this, his chief asset is moving the ball, and when he does get the shot, he's going to be able to hit it, but he's going to get a lot of mobility into that Atlanta lineup.
26 seconds to go. We certainly hope you will bear with us. For Atlanta, they have Lou Hudson, Jerry Chambers, Walt Hazard, Bill Bridges, and Walt Bellamy in the game. Bill Zopp, a 6'1.5" rookie out of Duquesne, is at the foul line. He'll shoot left-handed. Bob Boozer up front. The foul shot's good and a whistle. Green was in the lane too soon, says Richie Powers. Dick Cunningham in the middle now. Alcindor is out. Oscar Robertson on the back line. And Bob Dandridge rounds out the lineup. Bridges has it at midcourt against Boozer. Hazard guarded by Zopp. Bridges moving from left to right, goes to the right sideline. Back deep on the right to Hazard, who barks out a play. Double pick to the left. Let's see what they do. Time running out, 11 seconds to go, 50 to 43. We're in the second period. Hazard trying to set a play up. He's going to fight the clock. Gives to Bellamy. He jumps. 2 seconds to go. And there's the buzzer. That's the end of the second quarter. He'll be returning with halftime activities and Jack Kleiman interviewing Oscar Robertson and Pete Maravich in just a moment. The score is 52 for Atlanta.
I'm here at halftime, and coming over to the microphone, Pete Maravich, and on my right, Smith Barrier of the Greensboro Daily News and president of the U.S. Basketball Writers Association, with a presentation to Pete Maravich. Smith?
Thank you, Jack. Hi, Pete. Each year, the United States Basketball Writers Association selects the outstanding collegiate player. This year, for the first time, the trophy is named for Hank Iva, the retired coach at Oklahoma State, the gold medal Olympic winner in Mexico City. Naturally, the winner was Pete Maravich. Maravich, born in Pennsylvania, raised in South Carolina, prepped in North Carolina, colleged in Louisiana, and now a young businessman in Georgia, a member of the Atlanta Hawks. Pistol Pete is a natural nickname, but also his nickname could be Peter Rabbit, the most prolific scorer in collegiate basketball. Pete, on behalf of the United States Basketball Writers Association, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Smith. And Pete, congratulations to you and welcome to the NBA. What are your thoughts right now at the halfway point in your first ball game as a pro?
Well, I'm real happy. That everybody got together at the. We didn't have too good of an exhibition season, mainly because we had so many new faces on the club, and everybody has to go through that experience, as you know. So I'm just real happy right now.
Pete, Richie Guerin said you had an awful lot of adjustments to make. Have you made those adjustments? And what, in your mind, do you think you have to change about your game to be a vital part of this Atlanta ball club?
Well, I think you have to make a number of adjustments. Number one, you have to adjust on defense. You can't be lackadaisical on any one person in the NBA since they're so super. Another adjustment you have to make is to the disciplined offense that Richie runs. This is something that everybody adjusts to because the veterans have been running this type of offense for a long period of years. And right now, I'm just trying to get in the groove of the NBA, and I think everything's going to work out.
I noticed in that first quarter, you're sitting over there on the bench very intently. Are you studying the moves of the Oscar Robertsons, the Lucius Allens, trying to pick up what would be effective for you when you do get in the ballgame?
Well, I'm not trying to pick up anybody's moves, Jack. I'm just trying to actually just pick up some type of natural defensive movement that people make that it takes experience to get this, and this is what I'm hoping to get from watching on the sidelines.
Pete, you carried a 44-point per game average in college. I don't think it's any question that you're not going to average that amount of points in pro ball. How do you feel about this? Do you think that you can be a bigger asset by moving the ball around and not look at the basket like you did in college?
Well, Jack, when you get to the pros, you're playing with such superhuman basketball players that my scoring ability is not really needed on this team. We've already got tremendous shooters. I just want to be able to utilize any part of my game which can help the Hawks to the NBA championship.
Pete, what did Richie say to you when you came into the game there in the second period? What does he look for you to do out there with this Atlanta Hawk Ball Club?
Well, I think Richie wants me to try to adjust myself to maybe not so much harness anything that I do, but to adjust to the specific situation in which I'm playing.
How about the loss of Caldwell and the loss of, say, 20 points a game? How does the team feel about this coming into the NBA season? Do you look to Hudson more, or is the team looking to everybody else to pick up the slack?
Well, I think what you try to do, Jack, is just everybody, like I said, tries to get together. Before this game today, everybody was really intent, and we really didn't know how we were going to overcome, say, so many mistakes that we made in exhibition season, but it seems that we've worked this out, and this is what we're trying to do, a team effort.
Pete, thank you very much. Again, welcome to the NBA. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much, Jack.
Fine. Now let's go back to Jerry.
Here come the men in white, and that's Atlanta. They have 3 different sets of uniforms this year. Lou Hudson outside. He's been hot. A great defensive play by Robertson. They set the pressure on the pick, and he backed in and made the play. On the back line, Lucius Allen and Oscar Robertson, guarded respectively by Walt Hazard and Lou Hudson. That's Alcindor behind the back. No good. Rebounded by Allen. Allen shooting and scoring. He has forced McLaughlin to give way in a starting role. And Allen now has scored his first 2 points. And things are getting a little hairy, 52-47, as the lead of Atlanta at one time was 16. There's a 2-point play with Jim Davis scores. And it's back up to 7. Davis now with a total of 5 points. Alcindor working in the hole against Bellamy. Bob Boozer missing it, tapping it back. Alcindor, but picked off by Davis. That's Hazard on a 2-on-2 break. Hudson back to Hazard and deflected out by Lucius Allen.
It's early in this third period, but the Hawks are not moving as they did in that second quarter, and I think that's what we can say about Maravich. Maravich moved that Atlanta ball club, and as a result, got the momentum going. They're standing around more here in the third period.
It's astounding to note, as Jack brought out, the rebounding, a 20-point advantage in the first half for Atlanta. Out of bounds, it will belong to Atlanta. Last season, the Bucks went from last to second. And the Hawks, in 2 years in a row, they have won the regular season. They won by 2 games against L.A. last year. Bellamy outside, and Alcindor is hugging him outside. The jumper on the corner misses the rebound, coming up by Hudson. Lou Hudson misses. Hudson in the first half was uncanny. Hudson had 8 for 16 and 18 points. Oscar Robertson moves to the corner right to Dandridge. Good matchup there. Chambers earlier was against him. Now Bridges on him with more strength. Robertson on the pick and roll. He used to work so well in Cincinnati, but no basket. Lucas used to work that well with him, and so did Connie Dirking, who just left the ball club.
And you notice Oscar at halftime said he was at fault because he didn't look at the basket that much in the first half, but thus far in the third period, he still is not looking at the basket.
That trade announced today, Connie Dirking going along with Fred Foster and a draft choice for Darrell Imhoff to Philadelphia. Darrell going over to Cincinnati. Foul shot by Alcindor is good. 12 points for him. 9:50 to go. 54-48 the score in favor of Atlanta. You are watching the debut of Pete Maravich, who has played 10 minutes in the ball game and has 4 points. He's not in the lineup now. Bill Bridges with the ball, working for his favorite shot. A little hook from the corner. 9.5 to go. 56-48, the 8-point Atlanta lead. Milwaukee and Green going to our right. Oscar Robertson, newly acquired, into Alcindor. 3 men on him. He scores anyway. 14 for Big Lou. He played 17 minutes in the first half. We're in the third quarter, a 6-point advantage for Atlanta. Bellamy at the high post. There it goes to Big Bell. Double screen to the left. Hudson comes back for his favorite jumper. He pulls up, and there it is. Bingo. 9 minutes to go. 58-50. Third period, the lead by Atlanta. Alcindor, who is with 3 fouls, has to be careful, and Boozer is really corked by Bill Bridges. So Bob Boozer, who has acquired a number of business interests, he was telling me at the luncheon the other day. Bob lives in Omaha, Nebraska, and he is in business with one of the great sports stars of all time, Bob Gibson, in a restaurant there, and he also has 2 car washes. Hopes within 3 years to retire. Bob Boozer.
Larry Costello coming back with Boozer to try and nullify the effectiveness of Bill Bridges inside. Boozer comparable to Bridges in weight and strength.
And the shot goes out of bounds. In the first half, 5 out of 8 for Milwaukee from the line and 8 for 13 for Atlanta. That's Alcindor. The team with the ball is down by 8. Lucius Allen against Hazard into the low post right and knocked out of bounds by Bellamy. The debut of Pete Maravich, the greatest scorer in the history of college basketball. You're watching it on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Allen all alone moves inside even further and misses the shot, and Hudson comes up with it. An 8-point lead for the team with the ball. Hazard, who penetrates well, misses inside. Alcindor with the outlet pass, one-on-one against Bellamy Allen. He drives him and shoots off balance. Down he goes, no foul. The rebound to Davis. Davis to Hudson to Hazard. Hazard has Bridges. Look out, he drove in too far. Tried to use the basket, Jack, on that occasion as a defensive mechanism against Alcindor. I can recall Cliff Hagan used to do that a lot. But he got too far underneath and it was knocked out of bounds also. That's Bellamy. Good. Bellamy 13.
There again, that's all the Hawks worked on in practice yesterday, was getting Bellamy high, and if he hits like that, he's got to force Alcindor out.
Alcindor misses the shot. It's a 10-point lead for Atlanta. They have dominated the board. They've been very aggressive. Bridges, can you believe it? Bridges in the first half, as Jack told you, was outstanding on the boards in 24 minutes with 19 rebounds. He inbounds underneath his bucket to Hazard. That's Bellamy outside again. Two Hawks fighting for it. Davis and Hudson. Jim comes up. Bellamy's inside. Bellamy, when he joined this ball club last year, on the 1st of February, they had a 16-8 record. Allen underneath. Goaltending. Called on Walt Bellamy.
There you see why Oscar is not looking at the basket. The Hawks are double-teaming Oscar, and Lucius Allen was open there. So they're forcing Oscar to give the ball up, and they would rather have another Buck teammate shooting the ball than Oscar. So Richie Guerin's defensive strategy.
A 10-point lead now for Atlanta. They isolate Bridges against Boozer. He has 3 fouls on him. That's Hudson. But Bill could not go inside and went outside. And Lou Hudson outside scoring. The Atlanta fans are red hot, as is their ball club. With timeout here in the 3rd quarter at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum. Atlanta. Back to basketball here on Wide World of Sports. Allen brings it up. It's the debut of Pete Maravich. He is not in the lineup at present, and a whistle and a traveling violation is thrown against Milwaukee. They trail 64-52. In case you just joined us, Maravich played 10 minutes and had 4 points in the first half. Shot 2 for 5, had 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. I'm Jerry Gross along with Jack Twyman. 6:40 to go now in the 3rd period. The turnaround jump by Davis, who is used to playing with his back to the basket as a pivot man, missed it. Dandridge in tight, knocked out of bounds on a trail play by Big Bill Bridges.
And you see a move by Larry Costello. Hudson has been very effective against Robertson. Larry Costello moving Bob Dandridge back to guard defensively to take Lou Hudson. Robertson guarding Jimmy Davis. Not so much an offensive threat for the Hawks.
Alcindor gets it back to Oscar underneath, double teamed, and it's blocked and knocked out of bounds by Davis.
And the Bucks, Jerry, have not been able to penetrate. I think a big part of their problem, they're a driving ball club, and they have not been able to penetrate to get the layup, and as a result, they're not loosening up the Hawk defense by hitting the outside shot. They're not concentrating, and Oscar himself said at halftime, they're not looking for the shots. They're trying to force it inside to Lou, and the Hawks are sagging in on Lou, so they're clogging it up.
They are moving some of the photographers underneath the basket down to our left. The basket, which would be the Atlanta basket, they're in danger of being injured. So Richie Powers has called an official's time to move them out. Now to inbound it, Oscar Robertson goes deep up high to the right to Dandridge. He looks into Lou, gets it into him. He backs in the big guy, Bellamy, and banks it in. A 10-point lead. Atlanta has led throughout the 2nd and 3rd period by as much as 16 in the 2nd, and now their lead has been narrowed to 10. Jim Davis with a big forward wall for Atlanta, throws it out of bounds. See what Allen can do. He's been a little cold. Oscar Robertson, who runs the attack, goes to Boozer in the right corner. Boozer goes for his favorite shot and knocks her home. 6 minutes to go. An 8-point lead for Atlanta. Coming into the ball game shortly will be Jerry Chambers for Atlanta. Bridges underneath, working against Boozer. Oscar now underneath has been caught against Jim Davis. It's blocked on a great drop-off play by Boozer. He left his man. Coming out of the ball game, Jim Davis. So Chambers comes back in, and Jaron has made a move up front.
And so Larry Costello forcing a move, as you said, Jerry, bringing in the shorter, quicker Chambers to be guarded by Oscar Robertson.
Good defensive play by the Bucks, and Robertson has it. He's against Chambers, and he fouls him, and that might be two. There's a fine call by a second-year official, John Parker. No doubt about it, he was going for the bucket. At the foul line, Bob Boozer. Boozer playing this year for Milwaukee. Gives them an added offensive threat outside. Foul shot is good. He has 12 points, and the lead now is down to 64-59. He could cut it to 4. Bob Boozer. Bob moves to the right side of the foul line. An oddity, a quirk of his foul shooting style, and he makes it. So it is 64-60. Hazard brings it up against Allen. Hazard goes to the left side, trying to front Bridges now. Boozer, he can't do it. It goes in the low hole, and Bridges travels. Still had it, but moved. 5:15 to go. 4-point lead. Now for Atlanta. On the back line, Oscar Robertson working along Bob Dandridge. Now Lucius Allen is on the back line. Davis comes in the ball game against Boozer. Bridges gets a rest. In the hole, low left, Bellamy against Alcindor. He's got it. Double team, back to the bucket. At the foul line of Boozer, who gets free, shoots, and misses, trying to bank it. Rebounded by Dandridge. He scores, and he's fouled. A turnaround jump, and that brings it back to within 2. So we have quite a ball game here. At the line, Dandridge ready to shoot in a 64-62 ball game. Milwaukee fighting uphill most of the way. The shot's good. It's a 3-point play for Dandridge. He has 11, and now it's a 1-point lead. As Atlanta at one time had a 16-point lead, and in this period, a 12-point advantage. 4:53 to go. Atlanta's in foul trouble. Hazard has it against Allen. Allen knocks it out of bounds. Off the knee, they say, of Hazard, and it will go to Milwaukee.
And in this third period, Bob Boozer doing a great job on Bill Bridges, keeping him off the boards and not allowing him to be as effective as he was in the first half.
Dandridge spins away from Bridges and misses a 15-foot jumper, and out of bounds it goes. On the back line for Atlanta, as we are experiencing video problems, and we apologize for our technical difficulties. Lou Hudson brings it up against Dandridge. Allen paired against Hazard on the back line at the high post. Bellamy guarded by Alcindor, who switches to pick up Bridges underneath. Bellamy's pass back outside over to Hudson into the left corner, and a foul. Foul called against Dandridge. 4:24 to go. And with a 64-63 lead for Atlanta, Lou Hudson goes to the line. Hudson, an 82.5% foul shooter. 7th in the league last year. A 2-year All-Star, and he makes it, and it's 65-63. Bringing it up on the right side, Allen has it. Allen scoops into the right corner. Can't get by Hazard. Shoots it, blocked and knocked out. 4:16 left. A substitution. John McLaughlin will come back in the ball game shortly. That'll be a Milwaukee substitution. Allen inbounds in the corner right over to Dandridge against Bellamy on a switch. A mismatch somewhere. In it goes to Alcindor against Bridges. And he misses the roll-down shot off his arm like Wilt Chamberlain. Rebounded and out of bounds. Bellamy throws it the length of the court. They got the mismatch, Jack, what they wanted.
And John McLaughlin coming in. Oscar Robertson, with only 2 points in this period, has not been as effective as he predicted. So Larry Costello, the Hawks double teaming him, hopes to get a little of pressure off of Oscar with a good outside shooting guard.
Bringing it up on the right side. Dandridge has it. The score 65-63. A bucket here would tie the game for Milwaukee. And a great comeback. McLaughlin shoots. Swish. That baby from 18 feet out, and this one's tied up. Hazard brings it up on the right side. Goes into the high post now, a double post. Davis, he scores with a turnaround jump. That would look like a high post right and left. Davis on the right, Bellamy on the left. 3.5 left to go, 67-65, third quarter. Milwaukee bringing it up. Atlanta leads. Robertson goes to the corner with a running right-hander that's banked in and out. Rebounded behind Boozer by Bridges. And his pass goes out of bounds. It belongs now to Milwaukee. Powers right on top of the play. Boozer arguing. Hazard arguing. Boozer thinks he was fouled. Hazard thinks he should have the ball. And after consultation, the ball goes over to Atlanta. Here's Pete Maravich coming into the ball game. Maravich making his second appearance. A man who is reported to have signed a $2 million contract.
And the Hawks have been standing around this third quarter. Let's see if Pete Maravich can get them moving.
Maravich guarded by McLaughlin. Goes to the left side to Hudson, who shoots a jumper. It's missed. Rebounded by Bridges. Back to Maravich. Maravich outside over to Hudson, who shoots. 3 minutes to go. 69 to 65. Maravich came into the ball game with his club leading by 2. Now they lead by 4. On defense, Maravich is against Oscar momentarily. Now goes in the left corner against McLaughlin, who shoots. It's no good. A 19-footer is on it. Up and in. He's fouled. Alcindor dunked it off the backboard. He almost knocked the whole board down. What a shot that was. 2:43 left to go in this one. 69 to 67, third period. A lot of other NBA games also at Baltimore, LA's there tonight. Cincinnati playing at home against Philadelphia. New York against Chicago. And Phoenix against Detroit, rounding out the other games in the NBA. Seattle's at home against Boston. Greg Smith coming into the ball game. At Buffalo tonight, San Diego's in. And in Oakland, Cleveland against San Francisco. The shot is around the rim and out by Alcindor. No good.
I think what we're seeing in Greg Smith, nobody's been able to contain Hudson. Perhaps now we'll see Greg Smith take a crack at him.
He is one of the better defensive forwards, they say, in the NBA. Maravich brings it up. Pete Maravich with 2.5 left to go in the third period, and his ball club nursing a 1-point lead. He's against McLaughlin, and McLaughlin tackles him. That was the obvious strategic foul called from the bench. So with exactly 2:33 to go, it'll be the second against McLaughlin, and only the second called against Milwaukee. They will trade the foul shot for the ball. Maravich with 4 points. You are looking at his preseason scoring average, 17.5 per ball game. Maravich makes the shot. It rolled around and dropped in. We are experiencing video difficulties. That's why we are bringing you play-by-play. And a foul call.
So the Hawks are fired up here. Jimmy Davis in a move by Richie Guerin, going to the offensive boards, getting the rebounds, and Pete Maravich moving this Atlanta ball club as he is supposed to do.
1:37. You're looking at Pete Maravich, and now a shot of Oscar Robertson. We're watching the debut of number 44. That's Pistol Pete Maravich, former great star at LSU, All-American there, and the man who has scored more points in college history than anyone. And Maravich in this ball game so far has 5 points. His debut has been so far a successful one. A bounce pass to Bellamy at the high post. At the low post, Davis against Oscar. Back to Maravich. He loses it and gets it back. That's Davis. Bellamy. Short. Oscar playing up front, gets the rebound, and that's Alcindor on a precision-type pass. Lou Alcindor now has 23. This ball game is tied up. Milwaukee at one time was behind by 16.
And the reason it is, Jerry, the Bucks are going to the boards. They're not allowing the Hawks to have that freedom on the boards as they did in the first half.
What a gamble here. Oscar Robertson at 6'5" against Jim Davis in the hole at 6'9½". And a foul call. 52 seconds to go in the third quarter. It will be Milwaukee ball. So a bucket here could put them into the lead for the first time since the first quarter. McLaughlin against Maravich. Greg Smith. McLaughlin looking for the pick. Alcindor. Oscar outside. Rebounded by Jim Davis, and a foul called against Greg Smith. That's Greg right there. 35 seconds left to go in the third quarter. A 72-72 ball game. Our congratulations also to the commissioner of the National Basketball Association, Walter Kennedy, now in his 8th year. So it's the silver anniversary season. There will be 4 divisions this year, 2 in the East and 2 in the West. At the foul line, Davis for Atlanta shooting and scoring. Atlanta is in the Central Division, and they are in quite a dogfight, according to the prognosticators, with Baltimore for the title. Cincinnati and Cleveland rounding it out there. The next shot no good, 34 seconds to go. Milwaukee brings it up. The Bucks' Robertson has it. Oscar shooting, missing, getting his own rebound. It's good, and now it is 74-73. Milwaukee takes the lead for the first time since the first quarter, and we have 15 seconds left to go in the third period. Maravich bringing it up against McLaughlin. Takes a long one. off the heel of the rim. Back to Bellamy, who falls down. Here's Hudson, who brings it up in a whistle. Foul either on Hudson or the foul on Boozer. It's on Bob Boozer, and that'll be the 15th foul called against Milwaukee, and that's his 4th personal foul. And Wayne Embry across the way, works in the front office now, is really upset because he realizes how much that might hurt. The Milwaukee Bucks down the stretch. 74-73 is the score. And the team in the lead, Milwaukee. So now Lou Hudson could tie it up.
And Hudson with 25 points in the ball game thus far, at the line for 2.
Hudson in his 5th year, bachelor, scored. Made a swing into the Far East last year. Visit our armed forces. Shot is good. He made them both, and Atlanta leads. 1 second to go. The shot at midcourt. No good. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll be right back for the start of the 4th quarter. The score, Atlanta 75. A 1-point lead for Atlanta as we go to the final 12 minutes of basketball. You're looking at the leading scorers, and just a reminder, following this game, for those in the East and the Midwest, you'll be watching Notre Dame against Missouri in football. And don't forget also, next Monday night, NFL football on ABC. You'll be watching Oakland against Washington. Should be quite a game.
And as Richie Guerin sent his team back on the floor, I'm sure he told them to get that fast break going again. The Milwaukee Bucks nullified the Atlanta Hawks fast break in that 3rd quarter, and as a result, jumped out to a 1-point lead.
Oscar Robertson on the back line for Milwaukee. His ball club trails by 1. Hazard on him. Boozer goes right into the hole to Alcindor, who tried to pass to the cutting Greg Smith, and they call what? A traveling or 3 seconds? 3 seconds. Can't stay in that lane, that 16-foot lane, 3 seconds. And Lou was caught that time.
And Oscar Robertson with only 12 points in the game thus far. Not so much a good defensive job. Oscar is just not looking at the basket.
Oscar against Hazard now, muscling him, trying to get the ball away. Maravich has it. Maravich wriggles free, gets against Alcindor, and shoots over him. No good. Rebounded by Greg Smith. Oscar brings it up. Bucket right here would put his club into the lead. McLaughlin, he's fouled. Fouled by Jim Davis. So the forward wall for Atlanta, Jim Davis, Jerry Chambers. Chambers 6'5".
McLaughlin at the line.
And at the other forward spot, Davis and Chambers, and in the middle it's Bellamy. McLaughlin, who normally is a fine foul shooter, misses at the foul line. He makes one and misses the other. It's 75 all. 11 minutes to go, plus 15 seconds in the ball game. Maravich really being tested here in a game situation, playing for Atlanta. To Bellamy. He scores.
Richie Guerin coming up with a little strategy, taking a chance, resting Hudson and Bridges at this time, hoping that his ball club can stay in the game when he comes back fresh. Alcindor making a great move over Walter Bellamy.
Goes to show you the versatility of a man 7'4", 232 pounds. You don't realize how agile they are in the NBA until you see them on the floor. 77 all. Davis shoots and misses. Rebounded up and missed by Chambers. The rebound going underneath to Greg Smith. The Kangaroo Kid travels, they say, and he really mad. Parker right on top of the play said he traveled. Now Cinder goes over to talk to John. The NBA now coast to coast. Last year, 11.5% increase in attendance. The NBA has really grown. Richie Powers has called a foul away from the ball before it's inbounded against Smith, and that's a two-shot foul. So it'll be a two-shot foul. He said he grabbed him. Look at Richie grabbing his hip. He looks over and says, you grabbed him, and so that's a two-shot foul before the ball's inbounded.
That's right, Terry. I want to make the point. The reason it is a two-shot foul is the ball has to make contact with a player inbounds, and if a foul occurs before that happens, it is a two-shot foul.
He makes the first, and he misses the second, and Alcindor is there with the rebound. 78-77 Atlanta. They have led throughout most of the ball game. Milwaukee with quite a lot of new faces, driving and scoring underneath Greg Smith. Look at this ball club. They have a lot of new faces from last year. have 3 rookies in their starting roster. Boozer acquired, Allen acquired on trades, and Robertson. 79, 78. Pete Maravich in his debut, number 44 against McLaughlin. You're looking now at Maravich with the ball almost in backcourt. The kid trying to move right to left against McLaughlin. He finally drives by McLaughlin, hits Davis, and he scores. And he forced the switch in a good play. 9:59 to go. Maravich with a good play. A 1-point lead for Atlanta. Oscar misses outside, and it's touched last by Greg Smith, and he's hopping now.
In the preseason play, the Milwaukee Bucks had a lot of success pressuring Maravich, but in this game, he's able to go around, and as you saw there, McLaughlin came up tight, and Maravich went around him, so he's learning with every game.
Last year, these 2 ball clubs split in 6 games. That's Maravich trying to get the shot off, can't do it. His pass cross-court intercepted. Dandridge driving all alone, banks it in, and Milwaukee now leads by 1, 81-80. We had 9.5 to go. A fine ball game here on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Bellamy, a 19-footer. Bellamy has 19. 27 for Lou Hudson. 12 for Jimmy Davis. 23 for Alcindor and 13 for Davis. That's Alcindor with a stuff shot that almost ripped the cords out. 25 for Big Lou. 83-82, and once again bouncing back into the lead, Milwaukee. 8:58 to go. Davis had 7 rebounds for Atlanta in the last quarter. Alcindor had 3. Here's McLaughlin trying to drive underneath. Off it goes on McLaughlin. One-point lead now for the team on defense. That's Hazard bringing it up for Atlanta. Oscar's on him. Davis in the hole against Dandridge. Try and muscle him inside. The shot's missed and rebounded again. The human vacuum cleaner, Lou Alcindor. McLaughlin with a 15-footer. No good. Smith with a rebound. Saves it. Robertson all alone to McLaughlin. That's his shot. 8 minutes and 18 seconds left to go, and it's a timeout with an 85-82 score at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum in Atlanta, Georgia. The team in the lead, the visitors, Milwaukee, and we'll be back in just 1 minute. The score here with 8:18 to go is 85 for the visiting Milwaukee Bucks and 82 for the Atlanta Hawks. We had mentioned that in the Central Division it would be Atlanta this year. In the Midwest, Milwaukee, Detroit, Chicago, and Phoenix. Milwaukee, the preseason favorite there. What a night, or what an afternoon Alcindor's had. You see his statistics. Atlanta will inbound. In the Atlantic Division this year, it's the world champion New York, Knicks, Buffalo, Boston, and Philadelphia. 85-83, the jumper from the corner is missed by Jerry Chambers. The rebound by Dandridge. Davis and Boozer each have 4 personal fouls on. Intercepted by Atlanta, bringing it back, Hazard. Hazard to Bellamy, he almost travels. Hudson is back into the right corner, intercepted by Greg Smith on a tremendous play. To Robertson, he drives alone and he lays it up and in. He was almost hit from behind by Jerry Chambers, and now the biggest lead in the quarter is 87-82 in favor of Milwaukee.
And during that timeout, Richie Guerin furious with the Atlanta team for letting Milwaukee get back on the boards. During the first half, they're very effective in keeping them off the boards, but they're right back in this ball game because they're going to the boards again, getting that ball and stopping the fast break.
Jack, it's interesting to watch the 2 styles of play. Atlanta has always been known as a very aggressive ball club and a strong physical club. But this ball club, Milwaukee, they surprise you with their aggressiveness.
I think that is the big change in the Milwaukee ball club. They're bringing the offense to the opposition, and they're getting the ball out on the fast break.
Bill Bridges scores. Bill has 9 points in the game. He had 19 rebounds in the first half. Bridges defensively trying to stop in the left corner. Bob Dandridge. Greg Smith comes out to help the guards against Chambers. Shovels it underneath the Dandridge, who eludes Bridges and misses. Rebounded up and missed by Alcindor. Up and in by Lou. 89-83, a 6-point lead with 7:10 to go in the ball game. This is the debut of Pete Maravich. Hazard bringing it up. Pete not in the game now. At the high post, it's Bellamy. Hudson looks for that jump shot into the hole to Bridges, double team. Gets it away to Hudson, fighting the 24-second clock. His passer, his shot is knocked out of bounds. It will belong to the visitors. The men in green bringing it up. McLaughlin against Hazard. Greg Smith comes outside, looks underneath to the cutting Dandridge, can't get it to him. Now he sets a pick for Oscar. Oscar gets a pick, rolls, and shoots and misses. Bellamy had it knocked away by Smith. Alcindor misses one and a whistle.
And John Parker ruling that Lou Alcindor had possession, even though he had one hand on it. If you don't have possession on a rebounding foul like that, it's only one shot. But Lou Alcindor being awarded 2 shots.
Jack, that is the 4th foul on Bill Bridges, and the second team foul called against Atlanta. Remember, you are allowed 4, and any subsequent foul afterward, if it is not an offensive foul or the loose ball foul, it will be a penalty situation. 6.5 to go. Alcindor's shot, 83-89. The next one is up. It's good, and he has 28 points. A 7-point lead for Milwaukee, and a whistle. Jim Davis will be coming back in the ball game. And the foul is on McLaughlin. That is the 3rd team foul called against Milwaukee, and a shot at Larry Costello and his fine assistant coach out of Milwaukee, Tom Nisalke from the University of Wisconsin. Robertson and Alcindor this year are co-captains. 6:22 to go. 90-84, the 6-point lead. Foul shot made by Jerry Chambers. Oscar brings it up. Alcindor coming outside. Now goes to the corner. Dandridge shoots and misses. And a whistle and a foul. We did not mean to ignore the Pacific Division in the NBA with the new alignment for 1970. You see Jimmy Davis coming in.
And as we look at Jimmy Davis, Richie Guerin doing anything to get rebounding back into that lineup. The Milwaukee Bucks dominating the boards, and as a result, they're not allowing Milwaukee to get out on that fast break, which proved to be so effective in the first half.
At the line, Dandridge scores, so that makes it now a 92-84 ball game. An 8-point lead with 6 minutes, 5 seconds to go. In the Pacific Division this year, the Lakers, the Portland Trail Blazers, the San Francisco Warriors, the Seattle Supersonics, and the San Diego Rockets. Bellamy misses. The tip is missed. There is the loose ball foul.
Loose ball foul.
John Robertson. Not charged as a team foul. Dandridge steals it and dunks. 2 hands. Dandridge stealing it and dunking it at 6'6" out of Richmond, Virginia. 94-84. Turnabout for now the Milwaukee Bucks. Hazard brings it up, goes over to Hudson. His shot is missed, and now Atlanta has gone cold. That's Pete Maravich chewing on a fingernail. Anxiously watching his mates, they had a 16-point lead. Hudson with it, shoots outside left. Dandridge with the rebound. He was behind 2 Atlanta Hawks. 5:20 to go.
Once again, the Hawks are standing around, and there you saw Lou Hudson take 2 bad shots from way out. They're not working the ball in. They're not getting the passing that perhaps Pete Maravich gave them in that second quarter.
There's McLaughlin outside. Tried to bank it and missed. Alcindor over the top of Bellamy. Drives it in. Lou Alcindor, 30 points in the ball game. He was limited to 2 in the second quarter when he got in foul trouble. Now at 30 points, he's the high man, and his ball club leads 84-96. Here comes Oscar Robertson, and he is fouled. Say, we mentioned San Diego, Jack. ABC will be very pleased to bring the 21st annual All-Star game for the folks around the country on January 12th. And don't forget, too, on Monday evening, more exciting sports on ABC. It'll be NFL football Monday night. We have the timeout. We'll be back for the final exciting minutes of the NBA contest here on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Let's forget, coming up next on ABC, NCAA college football, Notre Dame against Missouri. 3:30 Eastern Daylight Time. You're looking at Pete Maravich back in the ball game. Now the question is, with 4:49, can Pistol Pete fire Atlanta right back into contention in this ball game. His club is trailing 96-84. A 12-point advantage, and they'll have to hurry.
That's a tough position to put Maravich in. Jerry, I can't help but think of the equation between Pete Maravich in his rookie year and his rookie game to Jerry West. I remember when Jerry West joined the Lakers, Freddie Schaus wouldn't start him, wouldn't play him, and brought him along very slowly. Perhaps Richie Guerin remembers that and would like to bring Maravich along very slowly in his first part of the season.
Jack, another coach who did that also was the coach of the St. Louis Hawks, bringing along Len Wilkins, who developed into quite a star. That's Maravich hitting outside. The pressure did not bother the kid on that one. He whacked that home from outside, and it's 97-86. The score and the lead going to Milwaukee. They're up by 11. They led by 13 when he was brought back into the game. Now 4:24 remaining. McLaughlin against Maravich. Maravich in the ball game has 7 points. Robertson trying to move on Hudson. Goes baseline left and shoots. It's no good. Tipped up and in. 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go. 99-86 Milwaukee. Greg Smith gets credit. He has 6. Bellamy scores. The assist going to Maravich. So for Maravich in the ball game, he has at least 2 assists. Into the hole it goes, and a whistle and a foul. 3:52 left. Time becomes so important now. And also the fouls. That is the 15th foul against Atlanta. They are in foul trouble, and the 4th called against Bellamy. Now Bellamy, Bridges, and Davis have 4. Milwaukee at the line. Dandridge has 4 along with Boozer. Foul shot good by Lou Alcindor. From New York City. His second year, the former great at UCLA. Shot is good. 3:52 left, 101-88. That's a 13-point lead. Maravich brings it up. Maravich to the right of the key. Double team for a moment to Hudson. Hudson trying to get his right-hander off. Goes to Maravich, who fakes out Greg Smith and shoots on the fly. Almost banked it in, tried to tip it, missed it. Bridges really ramming it home. Foul in the act of shooting left-handed. And a foul against Alcindor. Bridges really showed you a second effort there. Alcindor is going to be so much better this year, Jack Flyman. United the first ball game that he ever played in, and you can see the change already. He's come of age.
Well, it's interesting to note the comparison between the Oscar Robertson of last year, the scoring machine, as opposed to Oscar Robertson of this year. He's in charge out there. He's positioning his players, and you can see the influence he is having on the other Bucks, noticeably, as you mentioned, Lou Alcindor.
The shot by Bill Bridges good. Now the score 101 for Milwaukee and 90 for Atlanta. There will be a host of young, fine rookies, Jack, in the NBA this year. In addition to this fellow, Pete Maravich. There's a shot by Dandridge.
Also on this ball club, John Vallely of the Hawks in the NBA this season. Many other top rookies. Bob Lanier of Detroit, Dave Cowens of Boston, Rudy Tomjanovich and Calvin Murphy of San Diego, Jim McMillan of Los Angeles, and 2 Princeton grads, John Hummer of Buffalo and Jeff Petrie of Portland.
3 minutes to go right here in this one, 103-90. And don't forget, coming up next, it will be Notre Dame against Missouri at Columbia, Missouri on ABC. Robertson, second effort, no good. Bellamy rips the ball out of the air. 103-90, that's the score. The team with the ball behind. Maravich to Hudson. Hudson with 2:38 to go. Drives underneath, goes to Davis for a fadeaway. Blocked by Alcindor. Into the arms of Bridges, who scores. He's got 13 points. Behind man, Hudson has 27. He has not scored in the final period. You see the score. It's an 11-point lead with 2:22 to go. Robertson brings it up. Greg Smith launches one. No good. Tipped up by Alcindor. Bellamy. Maravich. Look at that hair flop. He's got the lucky socks on also. A spinning 360-degree. No good. Alcindor with the ball. Now to Greg Smith. 2 minutes, 2 seconds to go in the ball game. 103-92, an 11-point lead. Dandridge drives, shoots, it's banked, it's missed, and a whistle. And a foul. Foul against Maravich. 1 minute, 56 seconds left to go. You're looking at Bob Boozer. A Milwaukee substitution. At the foul line, it will be Dandridge. He was the 4th draft choice in '69 of Milwaukee. And at '68, so was Greg Smith. With only a minute and 56 remaining here in the Alexander Memorial Coliseum, the score 103 Milwaukee, 92 Atlanta. You're looking at Pete Maravich. We have a minute and 56 seconds to go. Maravich has scored a total of 5 points. A 16-point lead at one time by Atlanta. Milwaukee fought back with a superlative play of Lou Alcindor and the steadying play of Oscar Robertson. Now with a minute and 56 to go, they lead by 11. And don't forget football coming up shortly, right after the conclusion of Wide World of Sports debut of Pete Maravich here with Atlanta against Milwaukee.
I think we found out one thing this afternoon, Jerry, that Pete Maravich is going to be a real good pro. He's got great ball control, he's a good shooter, and he's not bothered by that pressure defense. He's in control, much like Robertson is control. He always knows where that ball is and knows how to control it.
He just got out of a tough scrape there, double teamed and hit the open man, and Bridges cans one from the right point. 15 points now for Bill Bridges, an 11-point lead. 11-point lead for Milwaukee. We have exactly a minute and a half to go in the game. Maravich will have a chance to bring it up. 1 minute, 29 seconds to go. Atlanta will need the roof to cave in here. Bringing it up on the right side. Hudson looks to Maravich, gives it to him. Maravich pumps one up. No good, and the rebound to Alcindor. He's done a great job on the boards in the second half. Bob Boozer brings it up. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go in the game. An 11-point lead for the team in green, Milwaukee. Bellamy brings it up. Now to Maravich. Maravich at midcourt gets away from Boozer. Over to Davis. Davis shot blocked by Alcindor. Great play. Davis is going to try it again. He gets it over his outstretched arm, and it's now 105-96. But only 50 seconds left to go in the game. 14 points for Jim Davis. Atlanta will have to be reckoned with in their division this year. Maravich and Hudson steal it away. Hudson brings it up 3-on-1. Oscar in the middle. He takes it all away and misses the layup. Davis with a rebound scores with 33 seconds to go. 105-98. A 7-point lead now for Alcindor and company. 28 seconds to go. 26. Oscar against Maravich. 24. 105-98. And a whistle with exactly 19 seconds to go. NCAA football coming up on ABC. Also, the NFL game of the week on Monday. Monday night, it'll be Washington against Oakland. Here we have basketball with 19 seconds to go, 105-98. At the line, John McLaughlin. Milwaukee has done it. They have won here. 19 seconds to go, 106-98. John McLaughlin was battling for a first-string berth against Lucius Allen. McLaughlin shot is good. He has 11 points. Now Maravich brings it up behind the back. How do you do? A little showtime there. Over to Bridges. He misses, and the rebound taken off underneath by Dandridge. So for the first time, we saw Pete Maravich with a little showmanship basketball. The shot missed by Dandridge. Bridges with a sidearm pass. The shot at the buzzer. It's good. No basket. No basket. The basket does not count. Final score in the ball game, 107-98. The visitors from Milwaukee winning.